So, name the viral disease that you have to study in NCRT. What are the name of the viral diseases that has been given in your book?
Rhinovirus is the first one, common cold. That one
Common
is the
cold.
first. Huh.
Okay. And then,
And then that's all under virus. I think next is protozoan malaria. That one.
okay. So, common cold. Viral disease. In this topic, we will study about common cold. And this is quite common cold. No?
Yes.
And the causative agent of common cold is, what is the name of pathogen that causes this diseases? Causative agent.
Ry-
Yes,
rhinovirus.
very good. It is rhinovirus. Okay. So one thing you must be knowing that whatever the diseases that is belong that is related with respiratory system, the symptoms will be cough, cold, and fever. It may be sore throat. Okay, it may be nasal congestion, it may be nasal discharge, sneezing, running nose, you can say, watery eyes. So this will be the symptoms that will be related with common cold, or you can say these are the symptoms that are related with basically the diseases that belongs to respiratory tract.
Yes.
Okay, so what are the symptoms of this common cold? What are the symptoms?
A sore throat and then hoarseness, cough,
Hmm?
headache,
Okay,
tiredness, head.
okay. So I had already told you that it is related with nasal
Yes.
congestion. Okay.
No.
So symptoms are nasal congestion, and it may be nasal congestion as well as nasal discharge. So this is clear to you.
Yeah.
Nasal congestion and nasal discharge, and sore throat. Okay. Khaskhasahट,
Nah.
this is
Yeah.
sore throat. Okay. So this is also the symptoms of this common cold, sore throat, as well as there is difficulty in speaking, hoarseness of sound, you can say, hoarseness, cough, headache, and tiredness. The person will feel tired. Okay, so these are the symptoms of common cold. Okay, so now mode of transmission, how this disease, because we are discussing about communicable disease or infectious disease. So how this disease is transmitted from one person to another person, and this will come under the topic mode of transmission. Have you any idea about this mode of transmission?
Yeah, droplets of cough of infected person and then
Okay,
using the same
inhalation, inhaling the droplets of infected person.
infected person.
Okay, so you can say inhalation of, yeah, inhaling the droplets of infected person. And in last class I had told you about this fomite borne disease.
Mm.
What is fomite borne disease?
That's what this if we use the same objects,
Okay,
utensils like
so
that.
these are object article borne disease, you can say. Okay, so this may be by sharing what, by sharing belongings, or you can say articles, or pen, comb. Okay, so towels, you can say, utensils. So if the diseases are transmitted through this medium, then we call it as what type of disease? Fomite borne
For
disease.
my bones.
So one common cause, you can say, one common mode of transmission is just inhaling the droplets of infected person. But there may be some other means also, by sharing the articles, pens, combs, towels, utensils, etc. So common cold is transmitted through this. And in last class I had told you about pneumonia. Okay, so pneumonia affect respiratory organ. Respiratory organ means to say lungs or alveoli. But in this disease, respiratory organ is not affected. Respiratory organ means to say that lung or alveoli is not affected, whereas respiratory tract will be infected. Okay, so respiratory tract, you can say this nasal chamber, trachea, bronchioles, bronchi. So this comes under respiratory tract. So this is most important, and this question is asked in NEET also, as well as this is important for your board examination also. Okay, so organ affected. What organ is affected in this common cold? Hmm?
Nasal tract.
Nasal tract.
Tract.
Okay, respiratory tract, you can say. No,
Uh,
respiratory tract, or you may say it and the most important thing is that respiratory tract is infected but not the lungs. Okay, so this is the basic difference between pneumonia and common cold. In case of pneumonia, lung or alveoli is affected, but in case of common cold, lung is not affected. Instead, respiratory tract is what? Respiratory tract is infected. So these are, you can say, these are affected, yeah, these are infected, but lung is not infected in this disease. Any doubt in this topic? So this is clear to you.
yeah.
So this is common, this is all about this common cold. Now we'll move to uh, any else disease has been given in your book, viral disease or only common cold?
Only common cold. I
Only
am having NCRT book. An Akash book I don't have it right now.
okay. So now your book is NCRT now.
Yeah.
NCRT word. Okay.
Uh,
So now we will move to another disease that is called protozoan disease. Okay, bacterial disease we have completed. Now viral disease has been also completed, and one more thing is there. Some you may learn about some name of other viral diseases. Name some viral diseases that you know. Hmm? AIDS.
yeah.
Okay, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome.
Syndrome.
Okay, so AIDS, influenza, smallpox. Have you heard about this smallpox?
Yeah.
One more is there that is called what?
Chicken pox.
Chicken pox. So these are the diseases that are also caused by viral. Some cancer is also caused by virus. Oncogenic virus. Cancer causing virus is which type of virus? Oncovirus.
Um,
Yeah, you may say it oncogenic virus. So now we will move to next disease that is called protozoan disease. In protozoan disease, we have to study about what? Malaria.
malaria.
And questions are asked from malaria in board examination as well as in NEET examination. So malaria and causative agent is very important. Malaria. What is the causative agent of malaria?
Plasmodium.
Good. But Plasmodium is genus. Name the species. Plasmodium what?
Plasmodium.
Vivax. Vivax.
Vivax.
This is like more common.
Calciferum.
Plasmodium vivax. But some more species are there. P here stands for Plasmodium. Okay. So next is Plasmodium vivax as well as the name of the disease is malaria. Okay. And one causative agent is also there that is called Plasmodium what?
Malaria.
Malaria. And The most dangerous is Plasmodium falciparum. Plasmodium falciparum.
False.
So now, and one more is there, that is Plasmodium ovale. Now you say, what are the causative agent of malaria? Plasmodium.
Plasmodium vivax,
Good.
Plasmodium malaria, Plasmodium falciparum, Plasmodium ovale.
Ovale. And this Plasmodium falciparum, this is very dangerous. It causes a specific type of malaria that is called what? Malignant malaria.
Oh.
Name of the malaria is what?
Malignant
Malignant. One second.
malaria.
Malignant malaria. And this may be fatal. है ना? Fatal means it may lead to
Right.
what?
Death.
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 So this is very dangerous. And this agent is several times, this question has been asked in NEET also. Name the causative agent that cause malignant malaria. This is very important for NEET. What will be the name of causative agent? Plasmodium.
Plasmodium falciparum.
Very good. Now, uh, one question is there that is asked in NEET: causative agent as well as vector. So sometimes in the examination question is like name the causative agent of malaria, and one option is there that is female Anopheles mosquitoes, as well as one more option is there that is Plasmodium vivax. But you have to keep in mind that Plasmodium vivax is causative agent and the vector. Vector means disease transmitter. Okay, disease is carried through the vector, and the vector is female Anopheles mosquito. Female Anopheles what? Mosquito. So difference between causative agent and vector is clear to you or not?
Yeah. Once
Causative.
again, can you tell
Yeah.
causative agent?
Okay. Causative agent means the main cause through which this malaria disease take place. But this is transmitted through a vector. You can say just, you may call it carrier. It is carrier of the disease. Okay. So,
So first, female Anopheles mosquito is affected by this disease, and then it's
yes,
transmitted.
yes. But the symptoms of malaria is not appear in female Anopheles. Okay. So you can say that this malaria parasite you can say malaria parasite or malaria pathogen requires two hosts. One is human and another is mosquito. So you can say that this malaria parasite, this is very important. Malaria parasite, this requires how many hosts? It requires two hosts. Okay. One is, human, and another is what? Mosquito. And a specific mosquito, that is what? Female
Female Anopheles mosquito.
Anopheles mosquito. Because male is vegetarian. Okay. Male male is fond of this herbs, or they are dependent on shrub for their food. But female requires warm blood for laying eggs. Okay. And we and birds, mammalia and apes are having what type of blood? Cold blood or warm blood?
Is in what is it?
Mammals.
Cold blood.
Warm
No,
blooded.
mammals are warm blood.
Warm blooded.
It doesn't say.
Okay, so this female requires, female Anopheles, it requires warm blood for laying egg, and that's why this mosquito bites human. Okay. So this question is of 5 marks for your board examination. In NCERT also one diagram has been given of malaria parasite. Okay, once you look at that diagram, and this is very important, and this question is asked in your board exam. This will be asked. So if for board purpose also you can take it as important question. This malaria disease, it comes
Yes.
in board examination also. Okay, so now this difference is clear to you. What is the difference between vector and causative agent?
Positive agent. Yeah.
Okay, causative agent means main causative agent that causes the disease, but this disease is transmitted through the vector. Okay, so you can say is as carrier, or you may
Okay.
call it as disease, what, disease transmitter. And disease transmitter of malaria is, who is the vector? Female
Female Anopheles.
Anopheles
Anopheles
mosquito.
mosquito.
Now this is clear to you.
Yeah.
Okay, life cycle is very important for board also. Once you should practice that diagram that has been given in your book. Okay, I will explain it here. Now, this is, as I have told you, that malaria parasite requires two hosts. So you can say it as digenetic. Di means two. It requires two hosts, so it is called digenetic parasite. What type of parasite you can say it?
Genetic.
Digenetic.
Genetic.
And organism that requires a single host is called monogenetic parasite. Like Ascaris, we will study in that helminthes disease. So Ascaris is monogenetic parasite, but malaria parasite is digenetic.
Digenetic.
Digenetic. Why it is digenetic? Because it
It
requires
requires two
two
hosts.
hosts. One host is
Human.
human, and second host is
Mosquito.
mosquito. Okay. Now we will come to the life cycle. That is very important, and this diagrammatically this has been given in your book. Once when you will look at that diagram, you will see that when mosquito is biting to the human, one infectious mode, once you see that sporozoites term has been given. So
Yeah.
mosquito inject sporozoites in human. Okay, so like we will study in this life cycle. So in life cycle, we will study that, you can say here plasmodium. This is for board examination also. Requires how many hosts? Two hosts.
Two hosts.
Why? For completing its life cycle.
Life cycle.
Okay? And what is the name of the host? You know, human is the primary host. Primary host means main host is what? Human. And one is there, that is secondary host, or you can say intermediate host. Okay, so mosquito is secondary host, or you can say it as what?
Intermediate host.
Intermediate host. Intermediate host is female. What will you say?
Female Anopheles mosquito.
Very good. This is female Anopheles mosquito. Now, what happens first? Okay, so you will see that the mosquito just injects sporozoites to human. Okay, so mosquito is injecting what? Sporozoites. This is the infective stage. The question may be asked as, what is the infective stage of malaria parasite? What will you say? What is injected in our body?
Sporozoites.
Sporozoites. Okay, and this sporozoite is injected into human by
Mas- uh, Female.
Anopheles mosquito. Okay, now this sporozoites generally, or you can say this is nothing but what is malaria parasite, you can say. This is the stage of malaria parasite. it will enter into human body. It will just multiply to increase its number. Okay, this is clear to you. So you can
Yeah.
say the next stage is multiplication of parasites in liver cells. So first learn that this sporozoite is injected into human body. Through blood it goes to where?
Liver
In
cells.
liver cell. It just divide mitotically. And one division is there that is called binary fission or multiple fission. Have you heard
Yeah.
about this term?
By
And
yeah.
multiple fission and example was plasmodium.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this will divide through multiple fission. Okay, so it will just increase its number or it will multiply in where? What will be the location? Liver
Liver
cell.
cells.
Okay, now what will happen? Once it will increase its number, then from liver cell it will again enter into RBC. RBC bolo. RBC means what? Human blood.
Red blood.
And
Yeah.
red blood cell, red blood
Yeah.
cell, white blood cell. So next is entry of parasite. Next stage is entry of parasite into where? RBC. RBC. RBC means red blood cell. And when it will enter into RBC, it will just divide there and it cause rupture of RBC. Rupture of RBC means RBC will be broken down. Any doubt?
No. So from liver cells, it will pass into RBC
Okay.
through.
Yeah. From liver cell, it will migrate to RBC. And there also it will divide and will increase its number and will
And
grow in
rupture.
size. Okay. So suppose that this is RBC and this parasite is entering, it will grow, and as a result what will happen, because this is animal cell,
Rupture.
so this will rupture. RBC will rupture and a specific toxic substance will be released that is called hemozoin, that I will write here. Okay, so next is entry of parasite into where? What is the location? RBC.
Red blood.
And next is release of a toxic substance. Because in malaria, the person feels chills, है ना? Shivering is there, high fever is there, and that shivering and high fever is due to a particular substance that is called what? Hemozoin. What is the name of that toxic substance? It is hemozoin. And this hemozoin causes chills, means shivering, and what? High fever. And this fever will repeat every after 3 to 4 days. Okay, how many days? After how many days the fever will be repeated? 3 to
4 days.
Okay. So this hemozoin causes chills and high fever, and this fever is repeating in every. This is also very important. After how many days fevers are repeated? 3 to 4 days.
4 days.
Now, what will happen? These all steps are taking place in.
Repeating in every 3 to 4 days means it sustains for 3 to 4 days, or
No. Suppose that this cycle reoccurs. Suppose that this is RBC, okay, and malaria parasite infected. This is clear to you? This causes ruptures. Rupture of what? Rupture of RBC.
RBC.
Okay, so rupture or RBC is there, and this rupture, from this rupture, it will secrete a substance that is called what? Hemozoin. And this, due to this hemozoin, what occurs? Fever and,
Chills and high fever.
yeah, fever and chills.
Yeah.
And again this parasites, okay, so again the parasite will infect another RBC in 3 days. Matlab again the cycle will be repeated after how many days? 3
3
days.
days.
Okay, because incubation period, incubation period, or one is known as, in higher classes you will study about tertian malaria or quarantine. Means if this cycle, simply you say that this cycle is repeated, this entering in RBC and rupturing RBC and secretion of hemozoin, this cycle is repeated every after, generally every after how many hours? 72 hours. Okay, so one RBC is rupture here, that is rupture of RBC, and again it will rupture another RBC after how many days? 3 days. Okay, so it will depend upon the name of it will depend upon the parasites, so what plasmodium has infected. Generally we are talking about plasmodium what? Vivax.
Vivax.
So in plasmodium vivax this cycle will repeat after how many hours?
72 hours.
And 72 hours means to say how many days?
3 days.
3 days.
So in the other Plasmodium falciparum, that and all, it differs like
one
more than
is
3 days.
one is there that this cycle repeated after 4 days. Okay,
Oh,
how many days
oh,
after? Fourth days.
4 days.
And we are talking about plasmodium vivax. So plasmodium vivax will repeat the cycle in how many days?
3 days. 3
3
days.
days. Okay, so this is clear to you?
Yeah.
Okay, now what will happen next? uh 1 second. So this cycle is repeated. Okay, in human being this cycle is repeated, and the parasites will affect RBC. RBC will be ruptured and hemozoin will be repeated, and this hemozoin will cause chills and fevers. Now what will be the next stage? Now if female Anopheles mosquitoes bites infected person, next. Okay, so what will happen in next step? After this, female Anopheles mosquitoes bites in infected person, bites infected person. One more thing that I want to explain here, that
Now, in
suppose,
the above steps, like female Anopheles mosquito doesn't infect it. Here, what's happening then in other previous steps? After infecting, only this is taking place.
yeah,
Then now, female Anopheles mosquitoes bites in
this is
infected.
this is not necessary, but if she will bite, okay, this is not necessary, but if meanwhile if she bites, because we are discussing about infectious disease. Okay, Deepika. So if she will bite, then what will happen? So before going to this step, one more thing I want to clear you, that suppose that this is RBC. Okay, so sporozoites, or you can say the malaria parasite, will just grow in this RBC. Okay, so the parasites will increase in size, and just for reproduction she will produce gametes, and gametes will be what? Male gamete and female
Female.
gamete. Okay, so when the parasite will infect the RBC, the parasites will just increase in size, and it will produce gametes, male gamete and female gamete.
Female.
So when this RBC is ruptured, okay, so along with what? When this RBC will ruptured, so along with hemozoin, this gamete will also gamete also
Also
comes to
fertilize.
blood. Blood means body fluid, you can say. Okay, so this is also releasing. ठीक है, अब you can say that along with hemozoin, gamete is also released. And through, if meanwhile this, if mosquito bites an infected person, then what will she pick up from the patient? She will pick what? Male gamete and female gamete.
In,
Okay, so gamete production will take place in human, but that gamete will not fertilize in human body, because for fertilization it requires a cool, a low temperature, and our temperature is high. We are homeothermic or warm blooded, you know.
yeah,
Okay, so for development it requires high temperature or low temperature?
low temperature.
Low temperature. That's why the development doesn't take place in mosquito or human? Human.
Human.
Okay, this is clear to you? Clear or not?
Yeah.
Okay, so next step is this: female anopheles mosquito bites infected person, then what will happen? Then you can say,
So the
just
first three types, or first three steps, are for the first time when it's when the person
yes,
gets infected.
it is for human. One diagram is given in your book. Now you will just go through this diagram. Two steps: one is taking place in human and another is taking place in mosquito's body. Okay, so what we have discussed till now, that is taking place in human body.
Human.
Okay, now next what will happen? Female anopheles mosquito bites infected person, then again what will happen? The parasites just get entered into mosquito's body, or you can say gut for digestive tract or digestive system, you know, gut, gut. Okay, so the next step is the parasite enters the mosquito's body. Now the parasite have entered in where? Mosquito's body. Is it clear to you?
Yeah.
Or mosquito's body, especially you can say in gut, or gut means what? Digestive tract. This is clear to you?
Yeah.
What will happen then? And this, when the parasites will enter into mosquito bodies, then after further development take place. And further development take place means to say that fertilization. Fertilization, you know?
Yeah. Now this is happening. First, this is taking place parallelly, or what's happening? Like first three steps and this.
Parallelly, not exactly parallelly, because how we get infected from malaria? Because after
Then,
mosquitoes biting. Okay,
yeah. Then this should be the first step. No, a female and parasite entering the.
but
This is the
uh,
first.
but from where this female anopheles will be infected from? This is cyclic now. This is cyclic. This is taking place in cycle. Okay, so suppose that female one man is affected, because this is the transmitter of the disease, vector, mosquitoes. Okay, so
So for
this,
it to act as a vector, it should be affected first. So this should be. I mean, this should be considered as the first.
yeah, but from where it will get infection? From human. Okay, so
From human.
yeah,
Oh,
from human now.
okay. Okay.
Okay,
Okay. When it. Okay.
suppose that I am suffering from malaria, then mosquito must had injected sporozoites in my body. Okay,
Yeah.
and that sporozoites through the blood, it went into the where? Liver.
Liver cells.
It divided into liver, and then after then from liver it
RBC.
came to RBC. Now this parasite matures there, it grows in size, and realize it reaches at sexual stage, it produced gamete, male gamete and female gamete. Okay, now my RBC has been ruptured. Okay, and along with that homozoin, that gamete also released in my body. Now suppose that if female Anopheles bites in this period, she will just pick up the gamete from my blood, male gamete and female gamete. Because the gamete development will not take place in my body because I am having warm
I,
blood. Okay,
wow.
I'm warm blooded animal. So that will not develop in my body. It means that the fertilization will not take place in human body.
Egg.
Okay, now the mosquito Anopheles bites me, and when while biting it will just pick up the gamete from my body. Okay, so in mosquito body that gamete will go in its gut or digestive tract,
Nice.
and especially in stomach, where in gut may is, you can say, in stomach. Okay, so further development take place in mosquito's gut. This is clear to you.
Yeah.
And further development take place means what? Fertilization. Okay,
Yeah.
means fertilization. This question is asked in NEET so many times. This question is repeated, where fertilization of malaria parasite take place. तो याद रखना है, this fertilization take place in, this you have to remember, this fertilization take place in mosquito's gut. Where?
Mosquitoes come.
Mosquito's gut. And gut means to where? In stomach. Okay, so further fertilization means fusion of gamete. Male gamete and female gamete will meet in mosquito's gut. This is clear to you?
Yeah. So in this step, female Anopheles mosquito picks up the gamete from our body and then enters into the mosquito.
Yeah, yeah. This is clear to you? Now
Yeah.
the further development will take place in mosquito bodies, in stomach.
Yeah.
And after that, the you know that after gamete formation, zygote formation take place in sexual reproduction. Okay, so formation of gamete, that is called gametogenesis. So you think you have to remind that gametogenesis means formation of gamete take place in our body,
Yeah.
but fertilization take place in where?
Mosquitoes.
Mosquito's gut
Mosquitoes.
or mosquito's body. Is it clear to you? Now what happens? So next, the further development take place, and there sporozoite is again formed in mosquito bodies. Sporozoite is infective stage. Okay, so from that is gut, the sporozoite will now come to the salivary gland of the mosquito. Saliva, you know, salivary gland.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So salivary gland may then this sporozoite will come in salivary gland of mosquito, and again when the mosquito will bite in any person, that sporozoite will be infected in healthy person. So through this the cycle is repeated. Is this clear to
Okay.
you?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can say next step is, this fifth step is multiplication of. In board examination also you can write these steps, you will get full mark. Okay, because this is a sum up. When you will go through this chapter you will get these things. I have written here in step by, so that it will be easy for you to learn. Okay, multiplication of parasite, where it will take place in where? Mosquito's body, to form what is the infective stage?
Sporozoites.
Very good, sporozoites. So again it formed what? Sporozoites.
So from mosquitoes' gut, sporozoites will be
Yes.
and it will enter the salivary gland.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Next is, you can say, sporozoites just from gut, it will transfer to salivary gland, and sporozoites are stored in where? Salivary gland, where it will get stored in.
Salivary gland.
Okay, and this step just in how many steps I have completed this? Fifth step now.
Five.
So this steps 1 to 5th steps it gets, again it will get what, repeated. So this is clear to you. Now again these sporozoites will give into human body, and what will happen? Anopheles.
Liver cells, then RBC, then
Yes, female anopheles, mosquitoes, sporozoites, human. Then after multiplication of parasites in liver cell, then after
cell,
this will enter into RBC, it will go grow there and will release a substance that is called hemozoin.
hemozoa,
This will cause chills and fever, and this will be repeated every after how many days? 3 to
4 days.
4 days. And gamete formation also take place in our body. Okay, and when this female anopheles will bite an infected person, the gametes will transferred into mosquito body, and then it will enter to the gut, and their fertilization take place, and again sporozoite in form in mosquito's body, and this sporozoites get transferred into salivary gland. This is stored here, and again this when this mosquito will bite a healthy person, this sporozoites will be in it will be injected in healthy human, and this disease will be continued. So any problem in this?
No.
Okay, one more thing is there, you have to learn that gametogenesis or formation of gamete. Okay, so formation of gamete take place in our body. Formation of gamete, or this is called gametogenesis. So gametogenesis will take place in human body. But fertilization will take place in
Mosquito.
Where?
Mosquitoes body.
Very good. And this is the question. This question is repeated 3 to 4 times in NEET examination. So this is important for you. So fertilization and further development. Where it will take place? In mosquitoes gut. Gut means where? Stomach. Okay, why it will take place there? Because it requires more temperature or less temperature?
Less temperature.
Less temperature. So this is all about what? Malaria. Now this is clear to any doubt in this topic?
No.
Okay. One more protozoan disease is there, that is ant amoeba histolytica, that is causative agent, and name of the disease is amoebic dysentery. This has been given in your book NCERT. This has been given, amoebic dysentery. So this is also protozoan disease. And disease name is what? Amoeba. Have you heard this term, amoeba? And the here from amoeba, this is the disease is amoebiasis, or this is also called amoebic dysentery. So amoebic dysentery or amoebiasis is also a what type of disease it is?
Protozoan disease.
Protozoan disease. And causative agent is? What is the causative agent?
Ant amoeba histolytica.
Good. Ant amoeba histolytica. This is clear to you? Causative agent is ant amoeba histolytica. Okay? And basically this parasites lives in our large intestine. Where does it live? It
Large
lives in
intestine.
our where?
Large intestine.
Small intestine or large intestine?
Large intestine.
Large intestine. Because one disease is there, that is ascariasis, and ascaris will live in our small intestine. But this entamoeba histolytica lives in where?
Large
Large
intestine.
intestine. Okay. Housefly, you know, makhi, housefly. Housefly generally transmit this disease, and mode of transmission is that simply like typhoid, contaminated food and contaminated what?
Water.
Water. So mode of transmission or infection, you can say this is contamination of food and
And
water by housefly. So if one asks to you, what is the carrier of this amoebic dysentery? Name the carrier or name the vector. What will you say? Carrier of the disease is
houseflies.
housefly.
Houseflies.
Okay. So housefly, you can say this is simply mechanical carrier of the disease. Carrier of disease. And what are the sign and symptoms of that disease? Symptoms. So if any parasite is living in our intestine, then we must will be suffering from abdominal pain. Is it not? It will take place now. Abdominal pain. Abdominal pain and just cramps. Cramps, you know,
Yeah.
it feels that muscles are contracting. Okay, so this is called cramps. And person will also suffer from constipation. The fecal matter will does not that fecal matter will not come out easily. It will be retained in rectum. That is called what? Constipation. It is a disease of digestive system also, constipation. And stools means fecal matter. Stools with excess mucus. Mucus as well as blood, and maybe clots of blood. So you can write blood clots. So blood will also come out through stools or fecal matter, you can say, and the stool will also contain mucus. So simply stool with mucus and blood. And these are the symptoms of which disease? Amoebic
Amoebic
dysentery.
dysentery.
Okay, this is all about protozoan disease, and now we'll come to helminthes disease. So do you want break of 5 minutes or I should continue?
Okay.
Continue.
Ah.
Okay. Next is helminthes disease. Helminthes or Helminth's disease, you can write. In animal kingdom, you had studied about platyhelminthes and eschhelminthes, flatworm and roundworm. Okay, so here we will study about the disease of roundworm. Roundworm, or it comes under phylum what? Eschhelminthes. Okay, Eschhelminthes. This is also called Nemathelminthes, because sometimes questions are asked like filaria parasite. Filaria parasite belongs to which phylum? What will be the answer? Name of the phylum is
Ascar.
Eschhelminthes. Eschhelminthes is also called Nemathelminthes, or it is also called
Round.
roundworm. Okay, so disease is Escherichiasis. What is the name of the disease?
Ascaria.
Ascariasis. This is the name of the disease. And causative agent, Ascaris lumbricoides. It is Ascaris. And full name, genus name, species name, biological nomenclature, classification, scientific name.
Scientific name and
Genus name is written first and then after
oh
species name
that
is
okay. I thought you were asking the full name.
okay. And when we write it, we underline it separately. So causative agent is Ascaris what? Lumbricoids. Name is clear to you?
Yeah.
And this Ascaris lumbricoids lives in where? Small intestine. Entamoeba histolytica lives in large intestine, while Ascaris lumbricoid lives in where? Small intestine. Okay, so this is the parasites of small intestine. And Ascaris lumbricoids, it is monogenetic parasite. Mono means single या double? Monogenetic. What do you think? It requires single host या double host?
Single host.
Single host. This is monogenetic parasite. Monogenetic means it requires single host. To complete its life cycle. Entamoeba histolytica also requires a single host, but one carrier is there, that is called housefly. Okay, but no development is taking place in housefly. Housefly is just transmitting the disease. Here, the it is Ascaris lumbricoides.
That one, is it monogenetic or digenetic? That the
What?
previous one is it?
Entamoeba histolytica, maybe
Endemic. Huh.
no, that is monogenetic. Okay, because monogenetic means it will require single host. Like you studied in malaria parasite, development is taking place in human as well as in mosquito, so that is digenetic. Here development is taking place only in human, so it is monogenetic. Okay, so monogenetic parasite, so you can say that host will be human, and especially human in where it will live? Small.
Small intestine.
Okay, so Ascaris lumbricoides is a parasite of small intestine. Is it clear to you? Now, what is the mode of infection? Same as Entamoeba histolytica. Mode of infection is contaminated food and contaminated what?
Water.
Contaminated food and contaminated water. This is clear to you? So how it will be transmitted from one person? Because it requires single host. So how it will infect? How this parasite will get enter in our body? How? Through contaminated food and contaminated water.
Water.
So what is the life cycle? How we get infected this? So simply, when this parasite will live in our small intestine, it just get matured there and leaves eggs. Okay, so that parasite will lay egg in our body. When suppose that if I am suffering from ascariasis, and when I will discharge, yeah, I will just release my fecal matter, defecation will take place. So along with that fecal matter, the eggs of that Ascaris lumbricoides will come outside. Okay, so embryonated egg, or because fertilization is also taking place in our body. Okay, so that embryonated egg will come out along with the fecal matter of human. Is it clear to you? So in life cycle we can write Release of parasite egg along with the feces means fecal matter, infected person. And when this fecal matter will come outside along with that embryonated egg, the soil is also get infected. No, so this will lead to contamination of soil. Before consuming any that vegetables or fruits, you wash fruit or not? You just wash fruit. Suppose that if any child, because generally this occurs in child, because child has not too much hygienic, they just takes vegetables or fruits and without washing that they start eating. Okay, so in that case that this eggs will this might enter in our body. So what will happen, this will lead to contamination of what? Soil, you can say soil as well as water or plants or fruits. And how it will be acquired by us? So acquiring of infection by consumption of contaminated components. Is it clear to you how we will acquire this disease? Contaminated components, or components means kya? What? Water, food, vegetables, because food also contains vegetables or fruits. This is clear to you how this disease, this embryonated egg will enter in our body. So simply, what is the life cycle? Release of parasite eggs along with the feces of infected person. So the embryonated egg will come outside with the fecal matter of infected person. Is it clear to you? Now this fecal matter or the eggs from that fecal matter, this will lead to contamination of soil, because fecal matter will go to the soil and from there also that egg are also released in the soil. So as a result soil contamination will take place, and from that soil it may go to water as well, because fecal matter may be discharged in water body also. Okay, so it may go to water or plants, because plants are also in soils. So through soils it may reach to plants or fruits. And when we will consume that, yeah, you can say we will take the fruits or vegetables or water, and if that will be contaminated with the eggs of ascaris, that will get inside our body and we will acquire this disease. Is it clear to you? Now, what are the sign and symptoms of this ascaris? Symptoms. Symptoms of the disease. So when we'll write about symptoms, it is living in our intestine. Okay, so intestinal bleeding may take place. Intestinal bleeding, muscular pain, this may lead to fever, and when it will live in our body, it will just consume our blood. So we may suffer from anemia. Is it clear to you? Anemia. And blocking of intestinal passages. Is this clear to you, Deepika? Suppose what I have written here. Suppose that this is our small intestine and the parasite is living here. Okay, so obviously this will block our intestinal passage because this is worm, giant intestinal worm it is. Its size is also large, so it may lead to intestinal blockage. It may lead to pain. Okay, muscular pain may be there. uh, because it will feed on our blood, so we may lack blood, and due to that we may suffer from disease that is called anemia. Is it clear to you? And common symptom is there, fever will be also there, and intestinal bleeding may also take place. So these are the symptoms of which disease? Ascaris or ascariasis?
Ascaris. Ascariasis.
Ascariasis. Now, next one more disease is there, that is also helminthes disease, and this is also very important for you as well as for NEET. You means you are going to appear in board examination. Okay, so this questions may be asked in board examination also. That is called Ucheriria bankrofti, and the disease is elephantiasis or filariasis. Next disease is, this is also helminthic disease, and next disease is elephantiasis or filariasis. Elephant, you know,
Uh-huh.
elephant.
Yeah.
And what were the legs of elephant? It is just like slim, or it is just like A or B? Elephant.
B.
B. It gets swollen. That's why we call this disease as what?
Elephant.
Elephantiasis.
Okay.
Legs becomes like elephant's legs. Okay. So this is called elephantiasis. And another name of this disease is what? Filariasis.
Filariasis.
Okay. And what is the causative agent, or you can say causative agent or pathogen? Pathogen of the disease is Ucheriria. What is the name of the disease? Sorry, pathogen? Ucheriria.
Uche- Ucheriria.
Acha, good name na? Ucheriria. Okay, so this Ucheriria is called filarial worm. If one asks from you what is the name of filarial worm, what will you say?
Ucheriria.
Reria or Ucheriria?
Ucheriria.
Ucheriria. And those two species are there that mainly cause this elephantiasis. Ucheriria, for Ucheriria I am writing here as short form W. Okay, so two species are there. One is Ucheriria bankrofti, or bankrofti you may also say, and one more is there, that is called Ucheriria malai. So now, what are the pathogen of elephantiasis? You have to pronounce this, you have to explain about this two. One is called Ucheriria bankrofti, another is Ucheriria malai. So these two species, or simply genus is what? Ucheriria.
Ucheriria.
Is it clear to you? So this is also digenetic host. It also requires two hosts. Okay, so again here the host is human and mosquito, but mosquito is not female Anopheles, it is female Culex mosquito. What is the name of mosquito? Culex. Okay, so this is also digenetic parasite. Okay, digenetic means requires how many hosts? It requires
Two horse.
two hosts.
Two.
And what is the primary host? Primary means main host.
Human.
Good. Human. And secondary host is mosquito.
Mosquitoes.
Name the mosquito. Female Culex. Culex mosquito. What is the name of mosquito? Culex.
Culex.
Is it clear to you? Okay, so what is the, again same like malaria? Mode of infection is Mosquito biting. Mode of infection is how it will be transmitted in our body by the bite of female Culex mosquito. So this is also a vector borne disease, or you can say this is mosquito borne disease. And so you can write the vector of this disease. Again, vector or carrier of this disease. What will be the vector or carrier of this disease? Same like
Female
secondary
Culex
host.
mosquito.
Very good. It is female Culex mosquito.
So it is also just a mechanical carrier.
Yeah, mechanical carrier. Is it clear to you? Okay, so this is female Culex mosquito. And again, as I have told you that it is digenetic. So again, we have to study here life cycle. Life cycle. So simply entry of Ucheraria into the body of human. So when the mosquito will bite a human being, just Ucheraria will enter into human body. So entry of Ucheraria into the body of where? Human. What will happen there? Do you know about acute and chronic? Chronic that lasts for long,
That's one long.
long lasting, and for the disease that lasts for very few time or short duration, that is called acute
Okay.
disease. Is it clear to you? Acute disease or chronic disease? So now what will happen? A chronic means long lasting, yeah, short lasting, long
Long
lasting.
lasting.
Okay. A chronic inflammation develops. Inflammation. Do you know inflammation?
Yeah. Similar to bulging.
A chronic inflammation, I will explain inflammation also, develops slowly, and this parasite will live for many years in humans. Okay, so chronic inflammation develops slowly for many years,
For many years.
for many years. That's why I have written here chronic inflammation. Is it clear to you? Many years. And this will live usually in lymphatic vessels. Lymphatic vessels, you know, from where lymph passes, like blood vessels and lymphatic vessels. So this parasite will live in the favorite place in our body is in lymphatic vessels. Okay, so usually this will live in lymphatic vessels, usually in the lymphatic vessels. And in lymphatic vessels also, this is lymphatic vessels of lower limbs. Lower limbs, you know, upper limbs is our this hand or forearm,
Yeah.
okay, and lower limbs is legs.
Yes.
So this is important for NEET. Question is asked that where does filarial parasites lives in our body? What will be the answer? Lymphatic vessels of
So it's lower limbs.
lower limbs. Is it clear to you? And then the affected organs becomes swollen, and this is called filariasis, or you may call it as filariasis as well as what?
Phantiasis.
Elephantiasis. Okay. One term I had written that inflammation. What is the characteristic of inflammation? Do you know what are the characteristic of inflammation? Four characters are there. Pain, redness, heat. Okay, heat means what? Temperature. Okay, pain, redness, heat or heat and temperature. And one more is there that I have written here, swelling. So these are the four characteristic of inflammation. This is fixed. In medical college also you will learn about this inflammation. What are the characters? Pain, redness, heat, temperature, and what? Swelling. So here also the legs become swells, and especially genitalia, lower limbs is get affected. Lower limbs, along with that lower limbs, genital area. In case male, scrotum where testis lies. Genital area, or you can say groin area, the area near our thighs. Okay, so that area also get swollen. Lower limbs, genital area, groin area, that all swells. Is it clear to you? And what are the sign and symptoms of this disease? Symptoms. So you can say that lower limbs and genital organ are, this is usually involved, and this is important for NEET also, because in NEET filaria question is asked. Okay, so what are the organs that are involved in this disease? Especially lower limbs and what? Genital organs. And this results in gross deformities. One diagram is given in NCRT, elephantiasis or filariasis. Okay, where that you will see that like this legs is like this, and this is gross deformities due to swelling. This becomes like this. Okay, and this is called gross deformities. So these are the sign and symptoms of disease. For disease filariasis. Is it clear to you? Now this is all about what type of disease you had studied. Protozoan or Helminth's disease. This is Helminth's disease. Okay. Okay, and that these two diseases are caused by Escherichia, not from Platyhelminthes. Is it clear to you? Now one more disease is there, that is called fungal disease. Fungal disease. And fungal disease is basically ringworm. Ringworm, you know, sometime during heat and moisture, or while playing in school in hot summer days where hotness is there as well as moisture is there, some fungal may grow in our body near thighs area or groin area, and itching starts. That is called, and that becomes like this is called what? Ringworms. Okay, and this is one of the most infectious disease in human. This is one of the most infectious disease of human. Ringworm. And causative agent of this disease is, again this question is asked, how many genus of fungi causes disease? Especially there are 3 genus that cause this disease, and this causative agent is Microsporum. This is also important. Microsporum. One is called Trichophyton, and one more is there, that is called what? Epidermophyton. Now you say, what are the causative agent? Microsporum. Next is,
Microsporum, Trichophyta,
and next.
Epidermophyta.
So how many genus are here? Three
Three.
genus. Okay. Microsporum, Trichophyton, and what phyton? Epidermophyton.
Epidermophyta.
And these all are nothing but it comes under categories what? Fungi. Now, what is the mode of infection of this disease? Mode of infection. Do you know about mode of infection of this fungal disease? Have you any idea?
Acquired from soil. It's given in
Again,
soil.
fomite-borne disease.
Uh,
Fomite-borne, you know na?
yeah.
Fomite-borne. Articles,
Amniotic.
utensils, combs, paints, related belongings item, you know. So mode of infection, you can say, and this may acquired from soil also. So this is generally acquired from soil or by using towels. Simply you can say towels, cloths, combs of healthy person or infected person.
Infected person.
Good, of infected person. Now again, sign and symptoms. What will be the sign and symptoms of ringworm? Sign and symptoms. Simply dry scaly lesions appears on body. So you can say dry scaly lesions on various parts of body. Various parts of body. And especially the most affected area is skin, nails, and in here scalps on head. Scalps, and the most irritating symptoms is intense what? Itching. Suppose you are in meeting and itching starts, what will you do? So this is most irritating one. Skin, nails, scalps, their intense itching occurs. Okay. And sometime question is also asked in board examination in short question, that what are the favorable condition for growth of fungi or fungi? What are the most favorable condition where fungi grow? Do you know?
Heat and moisture.
Good. Heat and moisture. Heat and moisture. These two are the factors that promote the growth of fungi.
Fungal growth.
Okay. Okay. And you can say that this fungi grow in skin folds like thighs, where we just fold our skins like this elbow in this area or groin area near thighs area. You know, there where skin folding is there. So this grow in skin folds, wherever the skin folding will be there. In the groin area means near genitalia or thighs. Okay, so this is called groin, or between the toes, you can say, between the toes. So these are the symptoms and the favorable condition for growth of what? Helminthes or fungi?
Fungi.
Fungi. So this is the all the diseases that we have to study in NCERT for board examination as well as for NEET examination. Is it clear to you? Have you any doubt in this topic?
No.
Now, one more is there that what are the preventive measures? This question is asked in board examination also. What are the preventive measures that control this infectious disease? So one is preventive measures. Preventive measures. You know about these measures. Where mosquito-borne disease are there, you should use mosquitoes. One fish is there that is known as gambusia. Have you heard the name of gambusia? Gambusia is the fish that feeds on mosquitoes larva. Suppose that gambusia will feed on mosquitoes larva, then mosquito larvas will be eaten up, and then mosquito will not grow. So these are the preventive methods like maintenance of personal hygiene, public hygiene. Personal hygiene, daily cleaning your body, daily taking bath, brushing, cleaning clothes. So this comes under personal hygiene. And along with personal hygiene, you have to maintain what? Only personal hygiene is good, will be sufficient, or you have to maintain public hygiene also. Public hygiene also. Okay. So maintenance of personal hygiene as well as what? Public
Public hygiene.
hygiene. Okay. Consumption of, because so many diseases are there that are transmitted through contaminated food and water. Okay. So there is a need to consume clean water. So consumption of clean drinking water, or water or food, fruits, vegetable, etc. Okay, now water reservoir should be cleaned properly. Okay, so that is called disinfection. Disinfection of water reservoirs. Or water reservoirs means, say, you can say pools and tanks and tanki, in your house also one tank will be there where water is stored. Okay, so pools and tanks that should be disinfected properly on a regular interval of time. Okay, next is you can say avoid contact with infected person directly. Direct contact should not be there, so avoid contact with infected person, their belongings also, because fomite borne disease, this generally transmits through using utensils or belongings. So avoid contact with infected person and their belongings. Okay. And one more is there. Actually, this question is asked for long question in board. What are the preventive measures that should be used to eradicate the infectious disease? So in that you can write these points. You will get full marks. Okay. Now next, to control, one more is there, vectors and their breeding places. Breeding places means where they reproduces, where they lay eggs and their eggs becomes adult one. So to control vectors and their breeding places, and this can be done by, how this can be done. So avoid stagnant water, stagnant water.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is through avoiding stagnation of water, because in stagnant water mosquitoes will grow. Okay, stagnation of water. Next, regular cleaning of coolers, house coolers, regular cleaning of household coolers, and the most important thing is that use of what? Mosquitoes net, because nowadays all out is also not working. In your area, mosquito are there or not at your
It's
place?
not there. It's not there much.
Okay, so you don't use mosquito net?
No.
Okay. Next, this is important for NEET. Gambusia. Introducing fishes like Gambusia. You have to learn this name. What is the name of fish?
Gambusia.
Gambusia. And this Gambusia fish generally feeds on mosquitoes larvae. Mosquitoes larvae in ponds. In water body, you have to introduce this fish Gambusia, because if mosquitoes larva will be there, this Gambusia will just feed upon that mosquitoes larva. So this is important. Okay. And next, spraying of insecticide, pest spraying of insecticide in ditches. Drainage should also be clean. Drainage. And last is doors and windows should be wide mist, so that mosquito can't enter in that. Should be provided with wire mist, so that mosquito cannot enter the house. Is it clear to you? Okay. Now, uh, one more thing is that sometime ask, do you know about dengue disease, dengue and chikungunya? Have you heard this term?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So dengue and chikungunya. This is also viral disease, chikungunya. This is what type of disease it is? It is viral disease. And it is also mosquito-borne disease. And the causative mosquitoes is Aedes mosquito. Okay. So vector is, what is the vector of this dengue and chikungunya? Which mosquito it is?
Aedes.
Aedes mosquito. Now you know a lot of mosquitoes. Female Anopheles for malaria, Culex
Culex
for filaria.
this
Filaria or
I
filaria or elephantiasis, na?
yes.
Okay. So for malaria, now you say.
For this one, entomim. I was house pet.
No. Entamoeba histolytica is something different. Now you saw for malaria, which mosquito is the vector?
Malaria.
Female?
Female Anopheles mosquito.
Good. Or for that elephantiasis or filaria?
Culex.
Cute mosquito. Cute mosquito. Cutex or Culex? Lex.
Culex.
Okay. And for dengue and chikungunya?
Aedes mosquitoes.
Aedes mosquito. Okay. And dengue and chikungunya is what type of disease it is? Viral disease. But it is also vector-borne disease. Aedes mosquito is the vector. Okay. Now, for prevention of the disease, we must use vaccine. Okay, so vaccine prevent from vaccine we can prevent ourselves for deadly disease. So many vaccines are available now. One vaccine is very common, that is corona vaccine, coronavirus. No, so
Yeah.
vaccination is also done for the deadly disease. So for this vaccine causes eradication of smallpox. Now smallpox is not there. Virus does not survive. So this vaccination has resulted in eradication means elimination. Now this does not exist. Okay, so the disease is what is the name of the disease?
Small, small.
And this vaccine, or you can say this for vaccination, yeah, from vaccination we are able to eradicate a lot of disease. One of that is smallpox. And you can say this vaccination has leads to extensive control on infectious diseases. And what are the diseases that we have got control through this vaccine? One is polio. Have you heard this term, polio?
Yeah.
Polio is viral disease. Diphtheria is bacterial disease.
That really.
Diphtheria. Okay. Pneumonia vaccine is also available in market. Pneumonia. And one more is there, that is what?
Tetanus.
Tetanus. So from vaccination we are able to eradicate, or we got control over this infectious diseases. Now it is clear to you. So for preventing this infectious disease, vaccination should also be done. Okay. Now next topic is immunity. Immunity, you know what is immunity?
Ability to fight disease.
Good. Ability to fight with coronavirus.
Then
Ability to
in
fight with whom? Pathogen or disease causing agent. Okay. So this is ability of the host to fight the disease, to fight the disease causing organism is called, one term we
pathogen.
used earlier. What is the
Pathogen.
name? Disease causing organism. It is called disease causing
Pathogen.
agent. It's called what?
Pathogen.
Pathogen. And this is done means this is conferred by our immune system. So immunity is taking place with the help of our which system?
Immune system.
Immune system. Okay, so this is, I am writing here definition because you have to write in board examination also. Okay, that's why I am writing, because if you write this and when you will come through the question bank of board examination, you will come through the same definition. Okay, so this is ability of the host to fight the disease causing
Is
organism
causing
or simply pathogen.
pathogen.
Okay, and this is conferred by means this immunity
Immune
is
system.
taking place
And by
inside our body with the which type, by what
immune
system?
system.
Immune system. Okay, now again, like diseases, we will come to know about the types of immunity. Okay, do you know what are the types of immunity?
Innate immunity and acquired
Very
immunity.
good. Innate immunity and acquired immunity. What is the difference between these two, innate and acquired?
Innate from birth, it is present,
It
but
is
acquired is
pathogen specific or pathogen non-specific? Innate.
What? A pathogen?
Specific or not? Innate. Because one
Innate
immunity is
immunity.
there that is pathogen specific and one is pathogen non-specific.
Okay. The first one, I think it's non-specific.
I think or
Innate.
it should be.
It
And
should
it
be
is. Should be or it
it,
is.
it, it is non-specific.
Okay. So this is immunity, type of immunity. Okay. One is there that is called innate immunity. Innate. Matlab innate birth se
Okay.
related. But it is related with birth. Okay. So one is innate and next one is acquired immunity. Innate immunity and acquired immunity. Now you are going in Akash Institute or not?
It's not open yet. It's closed only online.
In your area lockdown is still there? Lockdown.
No, it's not still there, but then they have not opened yet.
Okay. So what are the types of immunity? Innate immunity and second one is
Acquired immunity.
acquired immunity. Innate immunity is non-specific. It is not a specific. Not a specific means it can work against a diverse range of disease. Okay, disease causing agent. So you can say that this is non-specific type of defense, and this is present since birth. It is present since birth. Next is acquired immunity. This acquired immunity is pathogen specific. You have to learn that this innate is pathogen. This is not pathogen specific. But this acquired immunity is what? It is pathogen
Pathogens.
specific. And this is not present since birth. It is acquired during our lifetime. So this is not present since birth. And is acquired during our lifetime. Okay, now uh, firstly we will discuss about innate immunity, okay, and then after acquired immunity. The acquired immunity is memory based immunity. This is what type of
Memory
immunity?
based.
It is memory based. It is memory based immunity. Okay, like vaccination. You during your childhood you must be gone through the vaccination of BCG. That is for against the TB, Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Okay, and now if Mycobacterium tuberculosis bacteria will enter your body, then your body will recognize that
Recognize.
and suddenly it will respond. So this is memory based immunity and it is called what?
Acquired.
Acquired immunity. So now firstly we will discuss about this innate immunity. Innate immunity. And this innate, like this acquired immunity is memory based and this immunity is based on some barrier. Okay, so this consists mainly four types of barrier. How many types of barriers are there?
Four types.
Four. Four types of barriers. And what are the name of barriers? Do you know?
Physical
Physical,
barriers.
okay.
Cytokine.
Physical, physiological, cytokinin, and
Cytokine.
interferon.
Cellular.
Okay. So this is physical barriers. Physical barrier means physically preventing the entry of microbes or pathogen. Physically means some barrier is there, and that is your largest organ is skin.
Skin.
Okay, this is the main barrier. That is the main barrier that prevents the entry of pathogen. That prevents the entry of pathogen. So if one asks that skin is a barrier and it comes under which type of barrier? Physical,
Physical
physiological,
barrier.
what will you say?
Physical barrier.
Good, physical barrier. So one barrier is skin and another is mucous membrane. That is called mucus. Okay. So this is mucus, and this mucous membrane is very important for NEET also. Okay. So where this mucous membrane is exactly located? So this covers the epithelial lining of, this covers the epithelium. Epithelium, you know, our tissue is there. Four types of animal tissue are there, na? Epithelium, connective, muscular, and what?
No,
Nervous.
no.
Okay. So four types of tissue are there: epithelium, connective, muscular, and nervous. So this covers the epithelium lining of uh,
Urogenital.
epithelium lining of what? You have to
Urogenital.
learn this. Respiratory. Gastrointestinal tract means to say digestive tract. Gastrointestinal tract. And urinogenital tract, you know, from where urine and gamete passes. That is called urinogenital duct. That is urethra in case of male. Urinogenital tracts. So these are the two barriers that comes under physical barriers. What are the name of barrier? Skin and mucus. So
Mucus.
where does mucous membrane lie? What will be the answer? It covers the epithelium
Epithelium
lining of
lining
what?
of respiratory tract, gastrointestinal tract,
Urino,
urinogenital tract.
urinogenital
Genital.
tract. Very good. Now, as I had told you that four barriers are working. One is physical and second one is what? Physiological barrier. Physiological barrier. And this like saliva, you know, it contains lysozyme. Bacteria is killed from lysozyme. Okay. Tears, your tears also called that tears also contains lysozyme. And acid in a stomach, this all will come under which barrier? Physiological barriers. Okay. So simply you can say this prevent microbial growth. This prevents microbial growth. And it includes acid where? In stomach. Includes acid in stomach, saliva in mouth, and what? Tears in nose or eyes? Tears in nose
Nice.
or eyes?
Nice.
Eyes. Okay. So this saliva and tears, this contains lysozyme, and this lysozyme, it kills what? It
Back.
kills bacteria.
Like
Bacteria. Is it clear to you? So through this, it prevents microbial growth. So name some physiological barrier that prevents microbial growth. What will be the answer?
acid in stomach, saliva in mouth, tears in eyes.
And saliva and tears contains
Lysozyme. Which kills
lysozymes.
bacteria.
Okay, and in acid, you know, pH will be low. Low pH, due to low pH, microbial growth will not take place. Okay, and next, the third barrier is cellular barrier. Cellular, you know, with the help of cells. Okay, so third is
Cellular.
cellular barrier. Okay, so cellular barrier, what will come under this cellular barrier? So you can say with the help of different types of cell. Okay, with the help of different types of cell. Types of cells. Okay, and name some cells that kills microbes or pathogen. Phagocytosis, you know, phagocytosis, solid material is engulfed. Suppose that one cell is there that engulf bacteria. So what will be the term known as? That is phagocytosis. Okay, so phagocytosis and destruction of microbes, you can say destruction of microbes by certain types of WBC, certain types. So what do you think? Phagocytosis is done with the help of what? Which cell is responsible for phagocytosis?
W.
Hmm?
WB.
WBC. What is the full form of WBC?
White blood cell.
White?
White blood.
White blood cells. Okay. So this cellular barrier, basically it is done with the help of cells, and the cells that will lead to phagocytosis or destruction of the cells, or means to say that microbes. Okay. So certain type of WBC. Have you any idea about the types of WBC? Granulocytes, agranulocytes, lymphocytes, monocytes. Okay, so in this we will study about neutrophil. Cellular, we are studying about what type of barrier? Cellular barrier. So in cellular barrier, we will study about neutrophils. What type of cell we are going to discuss?
Neutrophil.
Neutrophils. And this is also very important for NEET. Not for only your board, but as well as for NEET also. Okay, so this neutrophil, it is also called PMNL. And what is the full form of PNL? This question has been asked so many times in
Poly.
medical examination. P for
Polymorph.
poly, morpho, N for
Nuclear.
nuclear, and L for
Glycosides. Leukocytes.
leukocytes. Polymorphonuclear leukocytes. So this is very important for NEET. So many times the full form of PMNL has been asked. Okay. So neutrophil is also called PMNL, and PMNL stands for polymorphonuclear. What else say?
Leukocytes.
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 Next is, one is neutrophils, another one is monocyte. This monocyte is also phagocytosis. Monocytes. This helps in phagocytosis. That's why it is also called phagocytic cell. And this is also very important. Question may be like, name some phagocytic cell. Yeah, identify phagocytic cells. Then what are the cells that are phagocytic in nature? Neutrophils and what?
Monocytes.
Monocytes. Okay. And the next is NK cells. NK. Some cell are there that naturally kills the microbes. That is called NK cell, or it is also called natural killer cell. Natural killer cell. How it kills the cell? Suppose uh, pathogen has entered in our body. So this NK cell will create pore in the body. Okay, formation of pore will be there, and as a result a huge amount of water will enter in this, and as a result it will swell and will lies. Okay, so it will just burst. Because why it will burst? Because natural killer cell has created pores. Okay, and it releases a chemical that is called perforins. Perforins means, perforin is a chemical that create pore in the cell, and as a result huge amount of water will enter into the cell, and cell will just swell and it will lyse. Or simply you can say that cell burst as a result of endosmosis. You know, water will enter into the cells, that is called endosmosis. So natural killer cell also comes under which type of barrier?
Cellular barrier.
Cellular barrier. And one more is there, that is called tissue macrophage. Macrophage is also phagocytic cell. It is called tissue macrophage. Okay, and macrophage is also what? It is also phagocytic in nature. Okay, so in cellular barrier, how many cells you have studied?
Oh,
Four. Name. First is
neutro-
neutrophils. Second is
neutrophils, monocytes,
monocytes. Third is
NKs,
NK
natural
cells.
killers,
Okay, and
tissue macro,
fourth is
tissue macro.
tissue macrophage. And the last barrier of this innate immunity is what? Cytokines.
Cytokine.
Cytokines. Or simply you can say this is called cytokine barrier. And this cytokine barrier is also very important. Interferon. This question is of NEET. NEET means pre-medical test. Interferons. Interferons. ठीक है? So what is interference? Suppose that one cell is get infected by virus. Okay, and as a result it will secrete a certain kind of chemical that is called what? Interferons. Okay. So now what this interferons will do? It will just protect another adjacent cell from this attack of virus. Okay, so it will create this interferons will, suppose you can that it interferes the growth of virus to uninfected cell, so that uninfected cell is not affected by
When a cell is
virus.
affected by the virus, interferon is released, and this interferon prevents the other cells from getting infected by adjacent getting.
Oh, suppose, firstly, suppose that this is a cell that is infected by virus. Okay, so this virus infected cell will secrete interferons. Okay, and now this interferons will protect another cell or other cell from infection of what? Virus.
Virus.
Is it clear to you? So interference, what is interference? Simply you can say it is just a proteinaceous substance. It is made of protein. So it is a protein secreted by virus infected cell or virus uninfected cell.
Virus infected.
Good. Virus infected cell. To protect the spread of infection to healthy, or simply you can say healthy or non-infected cell.
Infected.
Non-infected cell. So this interferon will come into which barrier? Cytokine barrier.
Cytokine.
Is it clear to you?
Yeah.
So now you tell what are the types of immunity?
Innate immunity, acquired immunity.
Which
Acquired
type of
immunity.
immunity is present since birth?
Innate immunity.
Pathogen specific or non-specific?
Non-specific.
Non-specific. Good. And it helps. Yeah, you can say it works through the help of barriers. Okay.
Barriers.
And mainly, how many barriers are there?
Four barriers.
One.
Physical. Four.
One barrier.
Four. Four.
Four. Okay. Name.
Physical barrier, physiological barrier, cytokine barrier, cellular barrier.
Very good. Physical, physiological, cytokine, and cellular. And
Cellular.
what are the example of cellular barrier?
Cellular barrier. Certain types of white blood cells. This includes polymorphonuclear leukocytes
Good.
and then natural
PMNL.
killer cells.
No, no. What is
Uh,
another name of PMNL?
this one.
No, no, no. Neutral.
Neutrophil.
Neutral
I
cell.
guess. Neutro something.
Feel. Feel.
Neutrophils. Neutrophil.
Neutrophil. Okay.
Phil.
And another cell.
Monocyte.
Another cell.
Monocyte.
Monocyte. Good.
Monocyte.
Good. Monocyte
And
and
then
then
natural killer cells.
natural killer cell. Good.
And then what is this one?
Mm,
Tissue macrophage.
good. Tissue macrophage. Okay.
Macrophage.
So this comes under cellular barrier. Okay. And what are the example of physiological barrier?
What the?
Physiological.
Physiological. Acid in stomach.
Yeah.
And then saliva in mouth, and then tears.
Tears
In
in
eyes.
ears.
Eyes.
Okay. And
Prevents microbial growth.
tears in ears.
Eyes.
Eyes. And it contains a specific type of enzyme that
Lysozyme.
kills bacteria, that is called lysozyme. And in a stomach also acid have high pH or low pH?
pH.
High.
Low pH.
Low pH. And due to low pH, bacterial growth will not take place. Okay. So physical is clear. A physical barrier example.
Skin, and then
Mucus. And name the
epithelium.
location of mucous membrane.
Epithelial lining of respiratory tract, and then
Good.
urinogenital tract, and then what was that?
This question is asked in NEET also.
Respiratory, urinogenital,
Gastrointestinal tract.
gastrointestinal tract.
Okay. And the last one is which type of barrier? Cytokine.
Cytokine barrier.
And example is
In interference is the
yeah, good. Interferons. And interferons generally inhibit the growth of bacteria or virus.
virus.
The adjacent. It prevents the non-infected cell or uninfected cell from virus. Okay. So this is clear to you? Okay. Now we will continue this in next class. Okay. Once
now will you send this next?
Tomorrow you will continue this class tomorrow.
Yeah. I see.
Okay. So I will share timetable with you. Okay.
Okay. The notes, can you send it?
I will send it immediately. I will send one note. Okay. Okay then. Thank you.
Thank you.